Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another video, and this is a paid request for Nicholas. Thank you so much for that, for those interesting requests in any type of videos. Random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, full playthrough, movie review, re-review, whatever the case may be. Feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And this is for Blankman, 1994 film, directed by Mike Bender, and I'm like, why does that name sound familiar? This is him that did Reign Over Me with Adam Sandler and Don Cheadle, a very different type of movie, a drama. I'm like, the guy who did that did Blankman? I didn't realize that. It's been two different fucking movies. But Blankman is one of those movies where, when this came out, it bombed badly. Because it stars Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans at this time, you could say was an up-and-coming actor, up-and-coming star, because he was in the show In Living Color, which was successful. He had been in films like The Last Boy Scout, which had a lot of issues, but I think did make a bit of money. It was ultimately successful. Then you had Mo Money, which cost like $10 million and made about 4 times his budget. Yeah, it made about $40 million. And then after this, he would get Major Pain and some other films here and there. Around this time, Bulletproof with him and Adam Sandler, which I liked that film. It didn't do well, but I liked that film. But he was an up-and-coming star, and so I guess they figure, hey, he played a character on In Living Color called Mr. Handyman. The idea being that he's a superhero, but he's handicapped, which he definitely could not play that in a movie. How you couldn't do that character today on TV. I'm surprised they even did that character back then on TV. And you definitely couldn't do that as a damn movie, so I don't know. It's hard to find information on this film. It's hard to find trivia on this film. I would assume he wanted to have something like Mr. Handy, his character on I want to say SNL, on In Living Color, and it didn't work out. So it became this. Now I know around the time you also had The Meteor Man, Robert Townsend's film. And that film didn't do well either. I would still rather watch both of them over the Black Panther movies. I said it. I'd rather watch Meteor Man and Blankman over Black Panther. Or especially over that horrible fucking sequel, Wakanda Forever. Yeah, it took forever to watch the fucking movie. But anyway, Blankman. This is a film that I do remember when I first saw it not as a kid, but I saw it early on. I remember not being sure about it because the way Damon Wayans played the character, the way he played the nerdy guy, it is a very silly movie. It is a very goofy movie. You could say that it's a pretty stupid movie. I guess with time, with age, I find it, while I don't love the film, I do find it at times charming. You could tell that there's some kind of love for the Batman Adam West Batman TV show. I mean, it's even referenced at the beginning to Damon Wayans and his brother David Alan Grier, which they were both on In Living Color. As kids, they're watching the Batman TV show. And then as they grow older, they live with their grandma. The city has a lot of crime. The grandma is working this campaign with this mayor candidate that seems like a good guy and he wants to clean up the streets. But you have this criminal played by Jon Polito, great character actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. If you look him up and you've seen enough movies from back in the day, you've definitely seen Jon Polito. He does a good job as his crime boss and tries to get the mayor candidate to play ball, but he doesn't, so eventually some come in, steal some money, and kill some of the people, including the grandma. That, as well as seeing the crime amongst the neighborhood, gets Damon Wayans to become a superhero, a vigilante that eventually gets the name Blankman. Now, again, Damon Wayans, the way he plays the character, very nasally, very deepy. He plays it, honestly, the comparison I would give is Steve Urkel. It's very Steve Urkel type of performance. Like, you could see him, if he said, "Did I do that?" you could see it. He got the glasses, again, the nasally voice, but very scientific. He's an inventor, he's a repairman, he invents stuff that people don't want invented. While David Alan Grier is the more normal brother who wants to be a reporter, but he's doing this tabloid stuff in the basement of the building, working for Jason Alexander, who's a guy in a wheelchair who wants just if you can't find a story, make it up. The senator and a alien that had sex with S&M. Write that story. You know, you just come up with stuff like that by literally throwing stuff at a board. But David Alan Grier wants to have better. He has better aspirations as a reporter. Eventually, Damon Wayans is a vigilante. At one point, he helps a woman by throwing a murder off a subway train. But he tries to help some other people. And he's like, "Well, slap me around or call me Susan." And they do slap the shit out of him and start calling him Susan. And David Alan Grier has to help him because he's a guy that has studied a bit of karate. And then eventually the movie goes on from there. Now, Damon Wayans is a person, I don't know. I hear stories that he has an ego, he's lazy, he's a pain in the ass on the set. I've heard that about when he was on the Lethal Weapon TV show. At times he's a bit of a diva. Him and Bruce Willis did not get along in The Last Boy Scout. And then you look at interviews and sometimes he just doesn't come off. Like, there's an interview for this film where there's this lady called Bobby Wygant. Seems like a very nice old lady. She always seemed like an old lady, but very nice lady. And it's for promotion. And if you look up Blankman 1994 interview, it's Bobby Wygant, Wygant. Yeah, she's very nice and talking to them. And the whole fucking time, Damon Wayans is sitting there with sunglasses on while they're inside. Imagine if I had a pair of sunglasses and I just put them on here as I'm being interviewed. It's like, I don't know why I have my eyes closed, but I guess my eyes try to signify the darkened sunglasses. But it just, like, take off your fucking sunglasses. You're doing an interview. And he seemed like he wasn't happy. He was pissed for some reason. I don't know. I'm like, dude, it's a nice old lady. What are you doing, dude? I don't know. He seems like a prick in real life. But as an actor, I do like him. Last Boy Scout he was great in. He was great in Living Color. Here, you could very well be annoyed by his performance as his DT guy. But, I mean, there were points that he did make me chuckle. Especially when he's with David Alan Grier. Because they do have a good rapport. Makes sense because they were in the show in Living... In Living Color is a fun show. I haven't seen it in a long time. But they had good rapport there. It comes across here. And I've always liked David Alan Grier. Whether it be Jumanji, he was the film In the Army Now with Pauly Shore, he was in that. I've always liked seeing him. Played a good dramatic role in Tales from the Hood as the abusive, he was father or stepfather, one of those two. He's really good in that. But many films I've liked him in. And they said they have a good chemistry when early on Damon Wayans wants David Alan Grier to wear this buckle with a transmitter. He's like, I'm not doing that. So Damon Wayans just stares at the wall, and the grandma's like, come on, do it for him. No, Grandma, I'm not going to do it. No, come on. No, listen to me. You don't... So as he's walking towards the grandma, he's like, well, maybe you need to invent something for that bald head of his. And he flicks his finger at Damon Wayans, and Damon goes, ow. Like the time of that and the way David Allen flicks the finger at Damon's bald head, like that made me laugh. Or he's at work and the transmitter occurs and he's talking and he turns and this lady thinks he was talking to his junk. That whole misunderstanding. There's a bit where Damon Wayans in this very goofy outfit wants to see the commissioner, and the cops are laughing at him, so they put him in jail. And then when David Alan Grier gets him out, they go to a psychologist. But Damon Wayans feigns innocence and pushes on to David Alan Grier, and David's like, no, he's superhero and wanted us to be superhero. And then I was calling the Xerox room, talking to my nuts. You were talking to your privates? No, I mean, not my privates, the belt buckle thing. So I love that line reading. I was caught in the Xerox room talking to my nuts. Like, David Alan Grier is hilarious. He's my favorite part of the film. Even, like, when he does the kung fu and he's doing the, what? Like, doing the over-the-top kung fu noise pose. But when he does the fight scenes, he's not that bad. He's really not that bad. He has decent form. Better than I expected, I should say, from David Alan Grier. I figure, everything's going to be a stunt double. No, I mean, he performed some of it himself, which he didn't do a bad job. I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen way, way worse, so, yeah, I actually appreciate that. Other actors in the film, Robin Givens is in the film as this female reporter that ultimately, once the story on Blankman does so, eventually they kiss, romance blooms. Blankman more so starts to get recognition when he helps this woman who's giving birth in an elevator. And the reason the Blankman occurs is because the lady's deaf, apparently, because David Alan Grier, she's asking for his name, and Damon Wayans can't say anything. So David Alan Grier, he's having a blank moment, ma'am. And somehow that made her say, Blankman. I'm like, that's not what David Alan Grier, he literally talked to you and said, he's having a blank moment, ma'am. So yeah, because the fucking girl's deaf, I guess. Blankman. Now, I do wish they showed more of him being a hero. Because it's more okay, they show him ready to help against a crime, but the joke is he's trying to change and he tries to go to a porta potty, but it stinks too much, so he can't. Then it's him trying to get a dog out. Then there's a supermarket and he throws a boot and it comes back like a boomerang thing. It's pretty much it. I wish we could have seen a little bit more of him stopping crime, like different ways of him using different inventions, different, maybe funny, goofy ways to show his ingenuity and creativity. And I just wish that could have been a bit more, a bit longer. And, the film bombing, first off, the poster, I don't think it's that good of a poster. And in fact, I'm going to use that for this, because this was the theatrical poster. I don't know if that really sells the movie. Because, Damon Wayans is an upcoming star, but you don't put his face on the poster. Now, when it came to VHS, it did. When the VHS, you see Damon Wayans fall into the ground going this. But for the theatrical, it's just, okay, you look at it, is this a cartoon? Is this something else? Is he voicing the character? I'm just saying based on the poster. Is this a live action film? Blankman, okay. And also in 1994, unless you were a popular hero like Batman, superhero films were not like how they are now. It wasn't cool to be a geek back then, or a nerd back then, or into comic books back then. It wasn't the cool thing back then. Yeah, there were comic book films that were popular, but, The Crow, that was helped because of the death of Brandon Lee and the controversy. So they got people to see the film, curiosity, and it's a damn good film. Ninja Turtles, but that's more because of the cartoon, not because it was based more on the comics. But that 1999 Ninja Turtles film made so much money because the cartoon was huge pop culture phenomenon at that time. But I mean, like Darkman, I like Darkman, but Darkman didn't do the best of the box office. Dick Tracy didn't do the best of the box office. The Phantom, which I like, that didn't do the best at the box office. The Shadow didn't do the best at the box office. Meteor Man didn't do that well. This flat out flopped. So, again, unless you're like Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, which was after this, it's not up until Blade where things really kicked in a high gear. Then you had X-Men, Spider-Man, etc. So, again, superhero films were, back then, were not consumed by the public as adamant as, well, even nowadays. Well, that's a whole other thing about nowadays. But, like, if you go back like 3 years or 4 years, the way comic book films, even Captain Marvel, because of where it was positioned, made $1 billion. Yes. So the marketing, and then it's, you look at it, if you do see a trailer, you go, okay, this is very goofy, very silly. Is it for kids? Is it for adults? Is it going to have humor that adults can understand? Or is it more of a kid's venture? And so I had this kind of tough tightrope to deal with. Because there are times it becomes goofy and silly and being an ode to the Adam West Batman show. I mean, there's even a point where the bad guys grab our two guys. David Alan Grier, who finally is in the costume Damon Wayans wanted him in. It's very goofy, silly costumes that the bad guys even make fun of. And they trap him in a water tank thing. And Damon Wayans has a robot called J5. Which it says in the trivia it was based on Johnny 5 from Short Circuit. I don't know if that's really it or they're just grasping at straws because J5, Johnny 5, they do sound similar. So I don't know. But it's a very tough balance that it's definitely not everyone's cup of tea because I'm surprised. This has like a 5.1 on IMDb. That's pretty low. So not everybody's a fan of this film. And again, I wouldn't say I love it, but I would say I do like it. I do find it fun. I do find it at times charming. There are moments I did find funny because I like the actors. Because I like Damon as an actor. I do like David Alan Grier. It's cool to see Jason Alexander in there and Jon Polito and etc. Hell, Greg Kinnear makes an appearance random. Some may go, who the fuck is Greg Kinnear? He was in As Good as It Gets. He was in Mystery Men, I believe. And Greg Kinnear's kind of disappeared, but he was a thing for a bit. But he appears like a host of a TV show where other people try to be heroes. But then that's dropped because you never hear about that ever again. And again, sometimes with the tone, it's like, okay, like there's some serious moments that do happen. I mean, there's a moment where, spoilers, the mayor has a bomb on him, and it kind of feels like the Adam West TV show where there's the big vault and Blankman is throwing his fart bombs. Just the bombs that stink because apparently he collected farts from his brother when he was asleep. He literally says that. So they're stink bombs. But then the mayor is chained up and he can't get out, so they escape, and then the place blows up, killing the mayor, and that's when he decides to hand it up. Pretty serious moment. Then you cut to he's trying to work at McDonald's. And the ending, just like the finale, I don't know. The finale, I guess I was expecting a bit more. Just pretty much the spoiler. Robin Givens gets kidnapped. David Alan Grier gets Damon Wayans from McDonald's. They go to the place. They get caught. They get put into the glass, a case where water's being filled up. The robot J5 comes in, drills some holes. They escape. They find the bombs. They put it into the J5 robot. Blows up. It dies. He vows vengeance. And they're at Jon Polito's place. Still don't get why the cops couldn't do that. If it was easy enough to just get to the place and there's like two bad guys there, that's the thing. They get to his place and there's like two bad guys there. I'm like, if it's that easy, why didn't some of the cops? I guess maybe we're supposed to think all the cops are dirty. I don't know. Apparently not, because they're all praising them at the end in the parade. But yeah, there's only like two bad guys, and then David Alan Grier gets wounded, and Damon finally fights a guy, kicks a guy's gun out of his hand, throws him into a piano. There's Jon Polito with a gun. He uses his rocket skates to grab him, and they stir it off, and he kind of just lands, gets knocked out, and everything's said and done. I don't know, it just felt as if, like, was that always the ending of the film? Was it meant to be a bigger ending, a bigger finale, or a more funny finale? I just thought the finale was kind of meh. It wasn't hilarious. It wasn't big, epic action packed. It's okay. I guess that's it. Maybe it's just me. I'm being very nitpicky, I know. And at the end, I don't know if he'll continue to be Blankman. Pretty much, Robin Givens knows his identity, kisses him. He once again comes in his pants. I mean, I think that's the idea we get. Which is, I mean, his physical comedy, Damon Wayans, is pretty funny, I will admit. So, I mean, there are funny moments. I do think it peters out. I agree with Gene Siskel. I watched the Siskel and Ebert review, and Gene Siskel actually liked the film. Roger Ebert didn't. And Gene Siskel, I kind of agree with what he said. There's some fairly funny moments. The two actors work well together, but it kind of peters out in the third act. And I do agree with that. But overall, like I said, it does have some charm to it. Does have some fun to it. I know some people on YouTube call it a ghastly, horrible movie. I don't think it's that. As long as you know it is a goofy, silly movie, trying to be in the tone of the Adam West Batman show. And it clearly is trying to do that. Do you want to see that type of thing? That'd be up to you. If not, then I don't know how much you doubt it. So yeah, it's not a film I rewatch over and over again. It's not my favorite Damon Wayans. I mean, I would put the last... Okay, just comedy for Damon Wayans. Major Payne, I find much more hilarious, and I love Major Payne. Like Major Payne, I would say is my favorite Damon Wayans comedy. My favorite film he's in is The Last Boy Scout. My favorite comedy he's in is Major Payne. But this I thought was fun. I mean, I don't think it deserved to bomb that badly. It cost 25 to 30 million and only made like 7 million. It debuted at like number 11. And I don't know why. I have a feeling if you did ask Damon Wayans about this film, he would trash it. I don't know why, I just have that feeling. Or he wouldn't want to talk about it, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong, but there was some fun to be had. Kind of hard for me to buy Robin Gibbons fall in love with that version of Damon Wayans. I mean, I know, lady, he brought you in where he had this kind of mobile that's on a railroad track and he's maneuvering on the railroad tracks, but I don't know, the way he sounds, the way he acts, the way he dresses, I just don't buy someone like Robin Gibbons falling for this guy. I just don't. But it's a movie, it's fantasy, it is what it is. So take that for you will. But I did have fun with it, I will be honest. I did have fun. So with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.